You're watching Halton News right here on your TV. It's Monday, July 27th. I'm your host, Sherry Ford, in for Jessica Kading. People under 40 in Halton are continuing to get infected with COVID-19, with new cases today in both Burlington and Milton. Currently, there are 29 active cases in the Halton region. Burlington sits at 7 cases. There are 9 confirmed in Oakville, 10 cases in Milton, and in Halton Hills, the town's number remains steady at only 3 current active cases. In an agreement the province is calling historic, the Ontario and federal governments have partnered to provide $4 billion to municipalities in urgently needed COVID-19 recovery funding. The one-time funding will help relieve financial pressures for things like shelters, public health, and food banks. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says $2 billion of the funding will go towards transit.
Last week, Canada's premiers reached a historic agreement with our federal partners. We negotiated together as a country. Together, we secured $19 billion in relief funding from the federal government. And this deal is a great deal for Ontario, and it's a great deal for Canada. It's proof of what happens when we all work together. It's the result of collaboration from coast to coast to coast. $19 billion to support frontline healthcare, municipal services, families, and communities. This funding will help restart our economy and come back stronger than ever before. And that means supporting our local communities. My friends, our municipalities have been hit hard by COVID-19. They have been on the front lines. The financial impact has been massive. They needed our help, and we promised we'd be there. So today, I'm here to announce that we are providing up to $4 billion through the Safe Restart Agreement to Ontario municipalities. Ontario will be there for our municipal partners and our communities. That's $4 billion to ensure Ontario municipalities can keep delivering critical services that people rely on every day.
Joining me now is Burlington Mayor Marianne Mead Ward. Now, this has to be welcome news today, this joint $4 billion funding from the feds and the province to help municipalities.
This is great news. It's something that we, the collective, we have been advocating, and that includes the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Big City Mayors of Canada, Large Urban Mayors Caucus of Ontario, which I'm a part of, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, GTHA mayors, mayors and regional chairs of Ontario. We have all been asking for, begging, pleading for the federal and provincial governments to come together, agree on a sum, agree on a funding program, because every day that goes by, we are losing more revenue and we are seeing added costs from COVID. So today's news is really great, and it just shows that our advocacy worked, our voices were heard, and they listened, so it's great.
I know it's early in the process and you don't even know how much money Burlington will receive, but can you give me a loose outline of what some of the funding will go towards?
For sure. So half of the funding announced today, $2 billion, is going towards transit specifically. So the federal is paying half of that $1 billion, and that's matched by the province $1 billion as well. So we don't have the full details of what that looks like, but what we've been hearing is that would be a similar funding mechanism to how we receive the gas tax transfers now. It's based on ridership, so there is some accountability and some fairness in how it is divvied up among the municipalities. So we do expect some transit funding. We need that. Our transit has been free for really since the beginning of the outbreak to protect drivers and passengers from having to do the fare exchange at the front of the bus. And so we've lost revenue, but we've added more buses because of crowds to have people be able to safely distance and of course have added cleaning. So, and that's just one of our services where we've had revenue loss and costs go up.
And can you give me an update on the drive-through COVID testing site at the Joe Brant Hospital?
Yes, I know this is welcome news for residents, increasing our capacity here in Burlington to do COVID-19 testing. So the Joseph Brand Hospital did announce that they will have drive-through or drive-up COVID testing. You still need to make an appointment. I think that's to manage crowds and make sure that they have enough people on deck waiting for you when you arrive. It's a simple process to book your appointment online. So everything has been sped up and there's more capacity now.
That's excellent. Thanks for your time today and stay well.
Thank you so much.
Halton police are looking for two men after a woman was robbed of her valuables outside an Oakville hotel on Saturday. Shortly before midnight, the victim went to a prearranged meeting in the South Service Road West and Wycroft Road area to discuss renting or buying her car. Police say when she arrived, the suspects pushed her and stole jewelry and her wallet. The individuals then fled in a black four-door BMW. The first man is described as being in his mid-20s with short dark hair and possible facial hair and wore a dark dress shirt. The second man is described as white in his mid-20s with blonde short hair. Halton police remind the public that their public parking lots are available for residents to complete prearranged transactions safely. Halton Region has updated its smoking bylaw to include public parks throughout the region, along with restrictions on cannabis and vaping. The new rules stipulate that the smoking of tobacco and cannabis, along with the use of e-cigarettes and vapes, is prohibited in Halton parks and within 9 meters of any entrance or exit of municipal buildings and childcare centers. The regulation was endorsed by Regional Council during its most recent session. Now at least 3 of the local town/city councils in Halton must pass motions consenting to the bylaw for it to become into force. This will replace the Halton-wide smoking bylaw implemented in 2009, which only restricted cigarette smoking near municipal buildings. It's history in the making for the Conservative Party of Canada as its membership numbers have hit a new high. Melissa Candelaria reports.
The Conservative Party of Canada has broken a record. To date, the party has just under 270,000 members, which Wellington Halton Hills MP Michael Chong says is the largest in the party's history.
Since the merger in 2003, look, we're the largest political party in Canada. We won the highest percentage of the popular vote last election. More Canadians voted for us in the 2019 election than any other federal party. We raise more money than any other party, and we now have more party members than any other party and the most number of party members in our history. We still have work to do to grow the party. We need to win another 40 or 50 seats in the next election, and I look forward to be part of the new team with the new leader to do exactly that.
This record-breaking membership is directly related to the leadership race currently underway, making it also the largest membership to vote in a leadership in Canadian history. Chong says it's no surprise, as they are a membership-driven party.
We're a party driven by our grassroots, and I think it's really important to listen to what the grassroots have to say. These are the ordinary, hardworking women and men of this country who work day in, day out, who built our society and who continue to keep it going. And I think their views inform policies. And I think as we go into the next election, that platform will be based on those views. And I'm looking forward to be part of the team.
Now, before we move into the next election, party members will have to pick between Peter MacKay, Aaron O'Toole, Leslyn Lewis, and Derek Sloan to lead them. They have until August 21st to vote for their new leader. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
Meanwhile, if you are a Conservative member and have yet to decide who you want to be as your new leader, the Independent Press Gallery of Canada is hosting a leadership debate on Wednesday night. It's happening at the Sheraton Centre in Toronto, and you can watch the debate online at independentpressgallery.ca. It starts at 7 o'clock. August 1st has been celebrated as Emancipation Day in Ontario since 2008. This year is no exception, but the Canadian Caribbean Association of Halton's celebration has been altered due to the pandemic. Nikki Wesley reports.
The Canadian Caribbean Association of Halton normally marks Emancipation Day, August 1st, with a lunch and concert at Urchlis Estate. This year will be different. President Andrew Terrell explains.
So what we're doing on August 1st is we're here at Queen Elizabeth Park Community and Cultural Center, and that is our home. We have our home offices here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning it into a barbecue. So you come in to Queen Elizabeth Park Community Center and you stay in your vehicles, and we're going to have our summer staff who are going to be delivering food to your vehicle. So it's all going to be in a COVID-friendly environment.
Participants will then head home with their barbecue lunch prepared by Milton's local celebrity chef Melanie Bastiens, in time to tune in to the CCAH YouTube premiere of Legacy Voices, a project that has been a year in the making.
We had a filmmaker come in and spend 90 minutes with each of the seniors to document their story and to give it as a legacy to their family. And then we put all of those stories together to make a documentary to really show what seniors went through and the hurdles that they overcame immigrating to Canada.
For more information, go to ccah.ca and be sure to catch the premiere to get a first-hand account of being Black years ago in Halton.
Back then, it was really a big deal.
You can also catch Legacy Voices right here on your TV on Saturday at 5 p.m. and again at 7:30 p.m. Looking for something to do this summer? The Royal Botanical Gardens are now open for business. Halton News has been showcasing what RBG has to offer. Here's the latest installment on flowering cherries.
Welcome back to the Arboretum, everyone. We are here to check on the progress of the flowering cherries, and they're looking pretty spectacular right now. They're buzzing with the energy of pollinators. And we have Alex, our curator of collections, with us to tell us a little bit about these magnificent trees. Alex, what's so special about the flowering cherries?
So the flowering cherries are really important in Japanese culture, and the reason for that is because the flowers don't last a long time on the trees. So when Japanese people look at the flowers, they kind of equate it to the ephemerality of life and just how short life is, but just how beautiful it can be as well. So.
And that kind of permeates through the rest of their culture as well.
Yeah, so like at flowering cherry time, you know, Japanese people typically come and celebrate the cherry trees. So the blossoms are called sakura. The viewing of the blossoms is called hanami, and typically people come down and they'll have a picnic under the trees, they'll relax under the trees. If you're really lucky, you can lie back and look at the flowers against the blue sky. So it's a really spectacular way to experience the cherry collection.
Yeah, now mentioning food, our cafe does have some wonderful specials at the Rock Garden in order to help celebrate the flowering cherries. They've got a nice matcha semi-freddo that sounds pretty good.
I know, that's where I'm going to be this week. So.
Now, we do have some cherries at the Rock Garden as well, right?
We do, yeah. So the cherries at the Rock Garden, they're a little younger than the cherry trees in the Arboretum, and they were part of a project that was launched by the Japanese Consulate of Japan in Toronto in 2011. We received some trees from them as part of a project to send cherry trees all the way across Ontario. So it's a really cool project to work on.
And there's a really neat one with green flowers there.
There is. There's a cherry with green flowers. It's super rare, but it's also super old, so it's kind of like on its last leg. So we'll see what kind of flowers it produces this year. But if you're lucky enough to see it, the flowers are spectacular.
Nice. Now, how about the ones here in the Arboretum? We have quite a number of older trees here.
We do. So the cherry circle that we're standing in right now, this particular variety is called Accolade, and it was introduced in the UK around about the 1930s. And the trees that you're looking at here today were planted around about 1967. Japanese cherry trees don't live to be a very old age, so these are the equivalent of seniors. So another great reason to come and see them, you know, before they finish blooming.
Yeah. So there's a number of different places in Ontario that you can go and view cherries. So what's special about ours?
Well, when you go to the other sites across Ontario, they tend to have planted a lot of trees en masse, but it's one single cultivar, whereas our collection is a trifle smaller, but we have much greater diversity. So you can see a lot of different flowers, a lot of different colours, and also the way that people interact with the trees.
Now, you mentioned at the beginning that the blossoms are very ephemeral, so how does the weather impact that?
Well, that's a great question, Jen, because we're not meant to have very good weather this week. So typically, if you get rain, the flowers can be knocked off the trees, or if the weather gets really cool, that can actually prolong the flowering. But we're kind of thinking peak bloom might be around about Wednesday this week. So the weather's great today. So today would be a great day to come and see the cherries, or tomorrow, because if we get that bad weather later in the week, it might just send them over.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Alex. We hope that you can all join us to visit the cherries, and hopefully they last well into the week, but the next couple days are probably your best bet to see peak cherries.
Yeah, happy Hanami!
Time at home during the pandemic has inspired one of Burlington's youngest chefs to share his kitchen experiences on YouTube. Nikki Wesley shares this tasty tale.
Hi, I'm Emmett, and welcome to my kitchen.
8-year-old Emmett McGuarian recently started a YouTube cooking show, Emmett Makes. He has always loved cooking.
Well, it started when I was a kid. I always had like a wooden little play cooking set. And then once I got older, I started to use, it's in this drawer, but I've got like plastic knives. And for my birthday, I got those cutting gloves you see in my videos. And then I could use big knives. Well, I like it because it's like a scientist like pouring things. Don't know if there's an explosion happening sometimes.
And you get to eat it at the end.
Yeah, that's the best part.
The inspiration for his show came from a cookbook he got for his birthday.
Like cooking some recipes, I'm like, these would do good on camera. So then I'm like, okay, I'll start my YouTube channel.
He creates a variety of things from miso grilled shrimp to vegan donuts and pickle ice cream, which he admits was not his favorite.
Ugh, this is not very good.
He's already been noticed by Chef Brad Leone on Instagram.
It was very exciting. My mom was crying, happy.
But he has even higher aspirations, part of his reason for his YouTube channel.
The people like Bon Appetit and Gordon Ramsay could watch my stuff, and then they would know about me, so they could like ask me to come over. And now like, hey, I'm Emma. Maybe I could be on his show, but not Kitchen Nightmares. That's not good.
In the future, Emmett hopes to open his own restaurant, possibly a pizzeria. We'll have to keep our eyes on this young Burlington chef. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Thank you for joining us here on Halton News. We need to take a short break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News right here on your TV. Some form of communication on Earth has been around for almost 4 million years. Although it's come a long way, in today's society, the tone of communication can be difficult to decipher. The Empathy Clinic in Oakville says it's all about how you package your message.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashik Bhattacharya speaking to you from the Empathy Clinic here in Oakville. So, today I want to talk about communication. 4 million years ago, a creature that stood on 2 legs roamed the planet. About 300,000 years ago, we came along as Homo sapiens. And about 50,000 years ago, we started to learn to use speech and language. That means for about 3,950,000 years, we've been using gestures with our hands and our faces and tone, i.e. the volume of our grunts and noises, to communicate everything that we wanted to communicate to each other. So I call that the packaging. Since we've invented speech, we've been able to have language in various forms and styles that can hopefully communicate how we think and feel about things. Now, if you think about speaking to someone as a package, then the way that you present your communication to them is surrounding the actual message inside. So let's see what's inside here. Yeah, just what I thought. Empathy. Now, if the package doesn't line up with the message inside, it's unlikely that your message is going to get across. So, when you're trying to communicate something to somebody, it could be someone at work, it could be a friend, a family member, or a loved one. Please pay attention to all the things that you're doing, maybe with your body, your hands, your face, your tone, that are not communicating what you're actually intending to communicate. Once you get those things lined up, the message inside and the packaging around it, that's when your communication is going to get across. So you give what you get, and if you give the right message, it's going to get across. Okay? Stay safe. See you next time.
Turning to weather now, and the high humidity we encountered today could result in severe thunderstorms and high winds this evening, so be on the lookout for that. Looking ahead at the 5-day forecast, Tuesday there will be a 30% chance of showers, a high of 28. Wednesday, some more showers and 26. Both Thursday and Friday you will have a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 27 degrees. And Saturday, a hot one, sunny and a high of 28. To business now, and the Burlington Chamber of Commerce wants to remind you that Golf After 5 takes place every Tuesday from now until the end of September. The fundraiser will help bring together fellow Burlington Chamber of Commerce colleagues for 9 holes of golf in a friendly, non-competitive environment. You don't need to be an experienced golfer to enjoy GA5 networking events, and you can grow your network by golfing with different partners each week. Tee-off begins at 5 p.m. and continues every 10 minutes. Unfortunately, the clubhouse will not be open for usual business networking afterwards for dinner or drinks. To book your spot or ask any questions, please email Roberto Ramasar at phone Roberto Ramirezar at 416-417-5692. Now let's take a look at today's closing markets. Thank you for joining us here on Halton News. We need to take a short break, but we'll be right back with an update from the Burlington Food Bank. Welcome back to Halton News right here on your TV. I'm Sherry Ford in for Jessica Kading. The Burlington Food Bank has been providing us with daily updates during the pandemic. Today they are gently reminding folks that the food bank needs your help now more than ever. During the summer months, people tend to take off to the cottage or on holidays and forget that many people are still in need of basic essentials. So please be mindful of this and continue to donate.
We're kind of in our normal lull of summer right now. The summer is one of the times of the year for us as a food bank that we see continued use of the food bank, but at the same time we see our donations really drop off. Typically it's because people have gone up to the cottage and aren't thinking about us. So if you happen to be out and about and can pick up some of our most needed items, we'd really appreciate it. We're actually seeing a lot of our stock dropping as far as what's available to families. We're making sure we go out and purchase as best we can to fill those needs so that we aren't not able to deliver the food to the people that need it. But at the same time, we know that people want to know how they can help us best right now. It's either through financial donations or through those donations of making sure you check our top 10 list and make those purchases for us. Thank you again so much for your continued support. And for those who need our help, we still have lots of food. We're still able to help you. It's not that we're running out. It's just that we're starting to get a little bit low on some of the stocks, and we're having to make sure that we get out and purchase in time so that we can continue to support the families here in Burlington.
And that's it for Halton News. Have a great evening.